Hey guys, so here is part two. Mainly what happened was I got all the goats bathed, got them all set up and everything, but they had to dry. So I got up super early in the morning, started clipping, ran out of time, which you'll see, I'll explain that here in a minute. And then went to a linear appraisal and then came back. But please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us out to create more content for y'all, and I hope that y'all like this series. It was a learning experience for us, and I hope it can be for y'all too, and we're going to try to do it again next year and learn more next year. All right, y'all enjoy. Okay, so I couldn't see his tattoo, but that doesn't mean that it's there. I did see him get tattooed whenever he was a kid, but it does take a fine eye to do that, and I don't have the greatest lighting. So, but after you check their identification, you want to make sure that your clippers are in working order. If you don't have some blade wash, which let's see here. Well, if you don't have the blade care, blade wash, then I suggest picking some up. All you do is open it up, you turn your blades on, put them down. Don't submerge it because you don't want to ruin your motor, but just barely put the clipper blades in there to where they are being, all that dirt and grime is coming off of them. I normally do mine for about a minute or two. You want to always oil your blades before you start and in between. And I also have cool lube, which is whenever this part of the blades start to get hot, you can spray some of this on and it'll cool it off. That way it works for the goats, along for the longevity of your clippers. Okay, so I turned my light on the camera to where I'm gonna show y'all how we get started. There you go. I'm gonna give him some more feed, which he's gonna like totally pig out on feed, but he's being a good boy and everything. So you want to make sure that their hooves are trimmed, and all that. Always bathe them, which we showed earlier. Always bathe them really good with a good shampoo to get all that extra, fur down off. And then so for dairy goats, everyone has a preference. I prefer to use the 7 blade for a whole body, and then around the mammary system and the scrotum, I will use a 40. And so I'm going to demonstrate just for a little bit on here, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and I'll show you what he looks like afterwards. One more pro tip real quick is, okay, so whenever you, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but whenever you go with their fur, like against it, the way that it grows, whenever you go against it, it'll work better for you. So I don't know, I don't think it's picking up on the camera, but whenever you, I don't know if you can see this line right here is to where I went straight across instead of this way. So it'll make a line in the fur, and then whenever you get all done, it'll look kind of weird and choppy and stuff. So just keep that in mind. But everything goes except the buck's beard. But from nose to tail, from withers to pasterns, and from shoulder to pasterns, it all goes. Alright, so let me get off here and I'll get him done and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so this morning's clippings did not go very well. I got 2 goats clipped, Dorothy and Huckleberry, and then I did a fuzzy clip on Tootsie and Toffee for the appraisal. I had some problems with my camera. Here's Mr. Huckleberry. Come on, bud. Off. Come on. So here's Mr. Huckleberry. Come on, bud. Let's go to your pen. Come on. Come on. Get down. Come on. There we go. Looks like a completely different goat, guys. The appraiser was very complimentary of Huckleberry. The only problem is to where Huckleberry, you're gonna give everybody seasickness. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so one thing that we could not get properly appraised because Dorothy, Tootsie, Toffee, and Huckleberry were all to where their ear tattoos were not legible. That sometimes happens, but you know, it's mainly my fault for not checking them before we wound up taking them and everything, and I'll explain in just a minute. Okay, so the appraiser has to identify the goats. So they look at their registration, they look at their ear tags, or if it's an EID, which is a microchip, they have to have a way to identify the goat. So if we're going off of ear tags, or not ear tags, tattoos, sorry. If we're going off of the ear tattoos, it has to match their registration. Now, I know for a fact that all of them were, as a kid, were tattooed, because I personally know the breeders that these 4, he's taking me all sorts of places. I personally know the breeders who they came from, and I know for a fact that they tattooed them. Now, for whatever reason, either it wasn't pushed down hard enough, or the ink didn't get in, or it grew back afterwards. Anything can happen. Anything, you know, of any of that nature can happen. So anyway, sad story, short story. We went to appraisal. We had good compliments given as far as their body condition, but we could not get appraised. So that's a loss for our farm for this year, but we can always try for linear appraisal next year. And hopefully by then we'll have a lot more girls with their paperwork straightened out through ADGA, and we'll also have a lot more milkers to where they'll be able to be properly appraised. So, my fault for not checking it, but I have been super busy, and so it's kind of a kick in the butt, but it's also the first time around. It's a big learning experience, and we did learn a lot, which we are very thankful to the appraiser, because he was very nice, and he showed us a lot of things and taught us a lot of things that I think will really benefit the way that we do things around here in the future. Okay, so let's get all these guys put up, and I'll show you what the girls look like. Okay, so before I start offloading these girls, I'm going to show you. So, Dorothy, did you get your head stuck? Alright, so Tootsie and Toffee got a fuzzy clip, which mainly what that is to where you clip their ears, clip their legs, clip their tails. You can clip their udders, but I didn't. And Dorothy got a full clip, which her head wasn't stuck earlier, so I'm gonna have to double check that. Okay, so here is Dorothy. She's all shaved down and everything, and so she did really good. He really liked the way that she looked. He really liked the way that Tootsie and Toffee looked. He didn't much care for Toffee's teat placement, which is understandable. Kind of goes to the sides. But she's also a 1-year-old first freshener, so that can, she's also a 1-year-old first freshener, so that can change. Not by much, but maybe a little bit more beneficial to her. Okay, so if you notice something different, it's because we got rid of Redneck, and we were going to anyway. We sold him, and we were going to replace him with Bordeaux. Well, we feel that now that Bordeaux's out of his quarantine and everything, to where he's trying to make Q and Jean-Luc really uncomfortable, and so we're gonna go ahead and put him in with S'mores. I think he can hold his own, but we'll see how it goes. They can get pretty aggressive with those horns and everything. And now that Redneck is gone, and Bordeaux is sweet, so is S'mores. Obviously, they're not being sweet with each other right now. But, whew. But one thing is to where we can actually finally get into this pen and we can get it cleaned up, because it was to the point to where Redneck was not allowing us to get into the pen at all, and so he had to go. Oh, S'mores, you stopped that. For those of you who are wondering, this is the way that bucks show dominance. So S'mores is obviously bigger, and so he's trying to show his dominance over Bordeaux. He's not actually hurting Bordeaux. Get him! So I just wanted to make sure that y'all understood. Okay, so over in this pen, we have Jean-Luc, Q, and Huckleberry. And so the final goal is to keep the two buck breeds separate if we can. It looks like Jean-Luc kind of imprinted on Bordeaux while they were together. So we'll see how that goes. Hi, Luna. So Miss Luna is definitely bred, and she will be due in 1 month. And I don't know. Yeah, there's her little udder. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it wasn't more informative on the LA than we would have liked, but it is what it is, and it was a learning experience. It's hard to explain what we learned, but I did take notes, and as our videos progress, I will share that and reference it to our LA session as far as whenever we learned it. I hope that y'all like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It really helps us out, and I hope that y'all have a really good day. All right, bye.